Hello, good morning. This is James. Now, for you to get a driving license, you must first join a driving school and do the training. Go to NTSA Center, that is National Transport and Safety Authority. Be tested, and if you pass, then you'll be able to apply for the driving license. So during exams, there are a number of things you'll be tested on. Examiners will ask you some oral questions, and the oral questions normally relate to if you actually know the rules and regulations of the roads, and by that it means that you need to familiarize yourself with what we call a traffic act. A traffic act is just those are just set laws that governs the rules of roads and the expected conduct of all road users. We also have something called a highway code, which is just a booklet that contains information and guidelines on the mandatory rules for all road users. So, oral questions, what you'll be asked, for example, when are you not allowed to drive? Places you're not allowed to hoot. Places you're not allowed to stop. When are you required to stop by law? What are the rules that governs the model town board? Then you'll be taken to the road signs. You're supposed to familiarize yourself with the road signs. You need to know all the road signs that we have in this chart. And then finally, they will take you to this board here, and this board will be required to drive a toy car from one point to another. Okay? So I want us to start with an introduction to this board. This board, we call it a model town board. And a model town board is just a representation of road networks in Kenya. And of course, it applies for countries that forms part of East Africa. Okay? So, what exactly are the features of a model town board? What exactly is being represented here that is already there? Alice, you can point in the middle of the roundabout. Start with the middle of the roundabout. That thing in the middle of the roundabout, we call it a traffic island. Traffic island helps to control the movement of traffic around the roundabout, and that place can be used for advertisement. It can be used also to mount a traffic light that will be able to help control the traffic movement. It can also, the county government can also decide to plant flowers just to beautify the town. Okay. Next, we have what we call a roundabout. The entire thing, we normally call it roundabout, but ideally the roundabout normally is the innermost lane, which is lane 4 in this case. The innermost lane is the roundabout. These are lanes or spaces that forms part of the roundabout. Okay. Next, we have what we call a central pavement. That is a central pavement, also known as a central reserve. So it can be a pavement, or if it is painted yellow with some strips, then it means it is a central reserve. Okay. There we have exits. We have the exits from the main road. If you are on this road, you can exit using that place. If you are on this road, if the roundabout is not working, you are allowed to use that exit. Okay. Next, the yellow markings. The yellow markings, we call them yellow curbs. So there is a pavement, besides the road there is a pavement, and that pavement is painted yellow. It means that is a yellow curbs. Okay. And the function of the yellow curb is, it simply means that drivers are not allowed to wait, to stop, or even to park in that particular area. Okay. Next, we have the parking zones. We have that parking zone there. Then we also have the other parking zone. The two parking zones have names. The one that contains the toy car here, we call it an angle parking. As you can see, the vehicles are parking at an angle of 45 degrees. We can also call it ample parking or controlled parking. The other one is known as a flash parking. It can also be called parallel parking, and can also be called uncontrolled parking. Next, we have what we call a two-way traffic road. That there is a two-way traffic road. And then we have what we call a one-way traffic road. The difference between a two-way traffic road and a one-way traffic road, in a two-way traffic road, it is the same road but the vehicles are moving in opposite direction. Okay? Whereas in a one-way traffic road, we have vehicles moving in the same direction, meaning we have a number of lanes, and in those lanes, vehicles are moving in the same direction. Normally, a one-way traffic road is separated by the central pavement or central reserve. Okay? The other difference you can see here, in a two-way traffic road, the road is divided by a yellow line. It can be yellow dotted or yellow continuous. The yellow dotted means you are allowed to overtake so long as the road is clear, but the yellow continuous lines means you are not allowed to overtake. In a one-way traffic road, we have lanes, and those lanes are separated by white lines. The white dotted lines means you are allowed to overtake or to change lanes, but the white continuous lines means you are not allowed to overtake, and certainly you cannot change lanes. And lastly, you can also see that in a two-way traffic road, we have what we call a pedestrian crossings, places that are reserved for people to safely cross the road, where in a one-way traffic road, the road is too big. So normally what they do, they mount what we call a footbridge. Okay? So again, I said, in a model town board, we have two types of roads, a two-way traffic road and a one-way traffic road. And a one-way traffic road, we have two types. We have what we call a major road and a minor road. The difference between major and minor is just the number of lanes. Major road has got how many lanes? 4 lanes. And minor road has got how many lanes? 3 lanes. Okay? Next, we have what we call the green parts are known as vegetation. It is just a representation of vegetation. Okay? So basically, those are the features of a model town board. So, before we continue with the model town board, we have a number of rules that we're supposed to familiarize ourselves with. Starting with the first rule of roads in Kenya. The first rule of roads in Kenya states that always keep left unless you are overtaking. We have the rules of the model town board. The rules of the model town board, rule number 1, use the shortest and the most correct route without using the parking route. Rule number 2, use the longest and the most correct route without using the parking route. And then rule number 3, you are allowed to use the parking route if there is no any other available route. So what that means is that at any given point you are told to move a toy car from point A to point B. You need to figure out which one is the shortest and the most correct route without using the parking route. Okay? If you are told, and the second rule says that use the longest and the most correct route without using the parking route. And then we have the third rule which says that use the parking route as the last option. So assuming you are given a question, can you move the blue car? Can you move the blue car behind the red car? You need to figure out, how do I move from here to here using the shortest and the most correct route? So in this case, you just simply shift lanes to lane 4. You stop and give way, and then you make a complete turn, and you find yourself behind the blue car. That is the shortest and the most correct route. Suppose we wanted to use the longest route. Alice, can you go the longest route? Then this is what you will do. Join the roundabout lane 3. Exit using lane 3. Change lanes. Indicate stop and give way. Join the immediate lane. Stop and give way. And then you find yourself behind the red car. Remember, you can also be told to use the third rule of the model town board, to take the blue car behind the red car. Alice? Start the engine, stop and give way, join lane 3 of the roundabout, exit using lane 3 of the roundabout, change lanes, continue, stop and give way, join the immediate lane, change lanes. That would be too far, Alice. We are supposed to use the parking route. So start again. Start the engine, stop and give way, join lane 3 of the roundabout, exit using lane 3, indicate and change lanes, indicate, stop and give way, join the immediate lane, indicate and change lanes, stop and give way, indicate, use the parking route, stop and give way, keep left, indicate right, stop and give way, join two-way traffic road, stop for pedestrians, indicate, stop and give way, join lane 3 of the roundabout, and there we have used the parking as the last option. Okay. We also have what we call rules of the roundabout. So at the roundabout, rule number 1, you are not allowed to stop, you cannot park, you cannot reverse, you cannot change lanes, you cannot overtake, you cannot wait, and certainly you are not allowed to hoot. We talked about the yellow caps, and we said the yellow caps, there's no waiting, no stopping, and no parking. Okay? Then we have rules of the parking zones, starting with the angle parking. Rule number 1, at least, start parking from the farthest end. And how do we park? Park with the forward gear, exit using a reverse gear, and it is only meant for saloon cars. Okay? So again, remember, this is the entrance, this is an exit. Where we have the spaces, that is an entrance, that is an exit. So if you join using this entrance here, you are supposed to park on this side, on your left. Okay? But you start parking from the farthest end. If you join using the other entrance, you are supposed to park on this other side, and you come and park from the farthest end. In a flush parking, again, you start parking from the farthest end. But now, how do we park? You park with the reverse gear. Then you are exit using a forward gear, and it is allowed for all types of vehicles except tractors and trailers. Are we together? Now, let's go to the main thing here. One-way traffic road, we said it has got two roads. We have what we call a major road and a minor road. There are rules that governs how you are supposed to join the roundabout and how you are supposed to exit the roundabout. Here, normally examiners test if you know the lane discipline and if you know the rules of how you are supposed to join the roundabout and how you are supposed to exit. Okay? So, how do we know which one is our lane 1? If you find yourself in a major road, how do you know that which one will be lane 1? You start counting lanes from the left. Of course, remember we are supposed to keep to the left. So the lane on your farthest left will be lane 1, Alice Point, that is lane 1, then lane 2, lane 3, and lane 4. If you are on the dotted lines, you have so many choices. You can decide to change lanes, go back to lane 2, lane 1, or come to lane 4. Okay? But the moment you join a white continuous lines, now you cannot change lanes. So we have rules that govern each and every single lane. Lane 1. Lane 1 has got two rules. Let's call them options. So lane 1 has got two options. The first option is for you to go straight. The second option is for you to turn to the left. Those are the only choices you have if you find yourself in lane 1. It means you cannot come from there and you start going around the roundabout. You cannot move from lane 1 and then you join roundabout lane 2. It is not allowed. Okay? From lane 1, you join roundabout lane 1, you exit straight using lane 1, or you simply turn to the left, lane 1. Lane 2 has got one option, and that one option is for you to go straight. So from lane 2, you join roundabout lane 2, you exit using lane 2. Lane 3 has got two options. The first option is for you to go straight, join roundabout lane 3, go straight, exit using lane 3. The second option is for you to turn to the right. Join roundabout lane 3, then turn to the right. So if you turn to the right, why are we exiting lane 2 minor road? We are exiting lane 2 minor road because major road has got more lanes as compared to minor road. So what we are trying to do, we are trying to match the lanes of major road to fit in the lanes of minor road. So ideally, what we are supposed to do is to create an imaginary lane here. When you are coming from a major road, you are going to join a minor road, you create an imaginary lane, will be lane 1, this becomes lane 2, lane 3, and lane 4. Or you simply subtract 1. If you are in lane 3 major road, 3 minus 1, you need to exit here using lane 2. If you are in lane 4 major road, 4 minus 1, you need to exit here using lane 3. Okay? Lane 4. Lane 4 has got 4 options. And 4 options, this is the formula that can help you. The formula is known as LUOC, and LUOC is L-U-O-C, meaning our first option will be an L-turn, then a U-turn, an O-turn, then a complete turn. Alice, let's go. The first option is an L-turn. So if you check clearly, from here, you come here, you go like this, that will be letter L. Okay? The second option is a U-turn. The third option is an O-turn. And then the last option is a complete turn. So if you've noticed, for the complete turn, for the last option in lane 4, we've joined the roundabout, but we've made a complete turn. You cannot just go straight. That is why I said this is the roundabout. This is the place where you have to make a complete turn, a U-turn, or an O-turn. You cannot do that on these lanes because these are just spaces or lanes that helps the roundabout. If you are in lane 3 and you are going straight, you just join lane 3 of the roundabout, you go straight. Same to lane 2, same to lane 1. But for lane 4, you must do what? You must make a complete turn when you are going straight. Are we together? And so, you see lane 1 uses lane 1 of the roundabout, lane 2 of the roundabout, lane 3 of the roundabout, and lane 4 uses lane 4 of the roundabout. So, a simple question here. You are told to move the black car behind the blue car. Black car behind the blue car. This one here, let me remove this one here. We need the black car behind the blue car. What do? You simply shift lanes to lane 4, stop and give way, you make a complete turn, then you find yourself behind the blue car. Okay? You notice that in this road, for you to come here, this vehicle is in which lane? Lane 1, 2, 3, 4. For you to come here, you need to be in lane 1, 2, 3, 4. So that you make a complete turn, then you'll find yourself behind this car. Where the vehicle is, where the black car is, you are allowed to change lanes. So the shortest and the most correct route is simply start your engine, indicate to your right, shift lanes to lane 4, stop and give way at the roundabout, make a complete turn, and you find yourself behind the blue car. So remember, all the junctions you must always stop and give way. At the roundabout, you must always stop and give way to the traffic that is coming from the right-hand side and those that are already inside the roundabout. Okay? A second question, the black car is here. We need the black car to go behind the blue car. So remember, we are in a white continuous line where you cannot change lanes. So what do? Start the engine, Alice, stop and give way, indicate, turn to the left, stop and give way, stop for pedestrians to cross, indicate left, stop and give way, indicate left, join the immediate lane, indicate and change lanes, stop and give way, make a complete turn at the roundabout, then you find yourself behind the blue car. That is the correct route. So if you noticed, in lane 1, we only have 2 options. The first option, join lane 1, go straight. Will that help us? No. So we'll check for the second option. The second option will be taking us to the left side. So if you go to the left side, you ask yourself, is there a way I can follow? How can I find my way back so that I go behind the blue car? So what you do, you simply join a two-way traffic road, you go down, you come back to the main highway, which is a one-way traffic road major, you join the immediate lane, you shift and change lanes to lane 4, you stop and give way at the roundabout, then you make a complete turn, and you find yourself behind the blue car. And that is the correct answer to that question. Okay? Let's go to the minor road. Let's look at the options of the minor road. Minor road lane 1 also has got two options. Either go straight or turn to the left. So how do we go straight? From lane 1, we maintain lane 1, you go and exit using lane 1. The second option, you simply turn to the left. Lane 2 has got only one option, and what that one option, you simply go straight. So from lane 2, you join lane 2 of the roundabout, and then you exit there using lane 2. Lane 3 has got 5 options. Okay, at least I need you to do that one from this other side. So I have two cars here and then 3 cars on the other side. We have a formula for lane 3, and the formula is known as SLUO. SLUO is S-double-L-U and O. Okay? And I need you to note something here. From our formula, the S and L uses lane 3 of the roundabout. The first two options uses lane 3 of the roundabout, and the 3 remaining options will use lane 4 of the roundabout. Okay? So again, just to remind us, lane 1 used lane 1 of the roundabout, major road. Lane 2, lane 2, lane 3, lane 3, and lane 4, lane 4. In minor road, lane 1 uses lane 1, lane 2, lane 2. This is the only lane that is allowed to use both lane 3 and lane 4 of the roundabout. Okay? So, this toy car, the toy cars will help us to actually demonstrate the 5 options. The first 2 options, the black and white car, is going to use lane 3 of the roundabout. So from our formula, the first option there is to go straight, join lane 3 of the roundabout, exit using lane 3. The second option is an L-turn that uses lane 3 of the roundabout. You exit using lane 3, major road. Okay? The third option is another L. That L now uses lane 4 of the roundabout, then you exit lane 4. And then we have next one is a U-turn. You go back where you came from. And the last one is an O-turn. So remember, an O-turn will always take you to the left. You go around the roundabout, you move to the left. That is an O-turn. Those are the 5 options for lane 3 minor road. So we have a code that can help you to actually identify those options. The code for major road will be 2124, meaning 2 options, 1 option, 2 options, and 4 options. For 4 options, you have a formula there known as LUOC. Okay? Then minor road, we have 215, 215, meaning 2 options, 1 options, and 5 options. And for the 5 options, we have the formula here known as what? SLUO. And kindly note that the first 2 options uses lane 3 of the roundabout, and the remaining 3 options uses lane 4 of the roundabout. Okay? So, one more question. The black car is here. Let me use the white. The white car is here. We need the white car to go behind the black car. Alice, let's go. Start the engine, stop and give way, join lane 3 of the roundabout, exit using lane 3, indicate and change lanes, indicate, stop and give way, join the immediate lane, indicate and change lanes, and that will be the longest route, Alice. Come again, let's start again. Now, wait, before you move, Remember, we have rules of the model term board. Rule number 1, we need to use the shortest and the most correct route. Rule number 2, use the longest and the most correct route. That means if the shortest route is not applicable, then you go with the longest route. If there's no shortest route and there's no longest route, then now we go and use the parking route. Now, how do we know? How do we identify so that we make sure we get the correct answer? To avoid going the longest route. Because if you go the longest route and there was a shortest route, definitely you are going to fail in your exams. Okay? What you need to do, first identify all these arrows that are joining the roundabout, which will be able to bring us here. Which of those arrows will bring us behind the black car? If you are on this road, do we have an arrow here that will take us there? No, because lane 1 will go straight or left, lane 2 straight, lane 3 straight or turn to the right, lane 4 make an L turn, make a U-turn, make an O turn, which will be here, not here, and then make a complete turn, which will be here. But again, you don't have to waste your time looking at this one because this car cannot, of course, shift lanes. Do we have to waste our time looking at this road? No, because this car cannot move to that road. This car can reach this road, so we can check that one there. Lane 1, go straight or turn to the left. Lane 2, simply go straight. Lane 3, we have the first option going straight and the second option turning right, which will be able to bring us behind that car. So in this road, if you come here, you'll find yourself behind this car. And what about this other side? This other side, again, if you find yourself in lane 2, you join lane 2 of the roundabout, you exit using lane 2. So if you come here, we'll also be able to find ourselves behind the black car. So you ask yourself, how do I move now from here to either of these arrows, and which one will be the shortest and the most correct route? It will be which one, Alice? Start the engine, stop and give way, join lane 3 of the roundabout, exit using lane 3, indicate and change lanes, indicate, stop and give way, join immediate lane, indicate and change lanes, stop and give way, join roundabout lane 3 and exit there to lane 2. Now we are behind that car. That is the correct answer. Suppose the shortest route is not applicable. Alice, let's go. Start the engine, stop and give way, join lane 3 of the roundabout, exit using lane 3, indicate and change lanes, stop and give way, go straight, indicate, stop and give way, indicate right, stop for pedestrians, stop for pedestrians, stop and give way, indicate, join the immediate lane, change lanes, stop and give way, join lane 2 of the roundabout, exit using lane 2. Unless you join lane 2, not lane 3. You're supposed to join lane 2 of the roundabout, then you exit using lane 2. And that is the correct answer. Now, our shortest route is not applicable. Now we are allowed to go and use the longest and the most correct route. Okay? And lastly, what if we are unable to use the longest route? Then now we need to figure out how do we move to here. At least let's go. Start the engine, stop and give way. Join lane 3 of the roundabout, exit using lane 3, indicate change lanes. Stop and give way, join immediate lane, indicate and change lanes. Stop and give way, indicate, join the parking route. Indicate right, stop and give way. Stop and give way, indicate right, stop for pedestrians. Stop for pedestrians, stop and give way, indicate right, join the immediate lane, change lanes, stop and give way, join lane 2, and exit there using lane 2. And that is the correct answer. Okay? So, that is all about the model town board. Remember, just know the rules, master the rules, and master their options, and then you'll be able to move the toy car from point A to point B. All right, thank you.